Hello, and welcome to Adventures into the Unknown. My name is Rick, this is Katana, and today's adventure has us just outside of Payson, Arizona, where we will be hiking the Doll Baby Trail up to the old Spanish ruins, which most likely were not actually constructed by the Spanish. In fact, there's actually evidence that the ruins were built by the indigenous people, more than likely Salado. So, that's enough jaw-jacking, let's get hiking. Now, the majority of this trail is actually an old dirt road which will lead us up to the old ruins. So overall, it is a pretty simple hike, except for that last little bit up to the top. Now, as you can see, this mesa is really quite massive, but we're getting closer, so we're going to keep hiking. Might be able to hike straight uphill into that little saddle and then get on top of that mesa. Might give that a shot, or that might be our way down. So as I came around the corner, I could actually see there's a cairn here, which does actually probably point up towards the top of that saddle. And so when you're out on the trail and maybe you lose the trail, look for these cairns, and then you typically, from the point of this one, there should be another one in sight, that would lead you on the trail. But for the first trip up, we're going to stick to the dirt road, and then we'll probably come back down through that saddle. Again, so far a pretty easy hike. Alright, so we've come from way down back in here, and we actually got here fairly early, just after sunrise, and we've had the trail to ourselves the whole way. And looking back at the parking lot, I think we still have the trail to ourselves. So not a very well-known trail, or perhaps just not a hike that a lot of people do. So I think I found the berries, juniper berries, that the coyotes have been eating, which is making their scat pinkish red. So that is not actually part of the mesa, but a pretty cool rock formation nonetheless. Alright, so we've made it to the top as far as the dirt road goes, and you come to this gate that we will have to go through, and then immediately take a left back up to the top of the mesa. But before we go through the gate, why don't we go ahead and send the drone up and see what's in store for us. So that is a prickly pear cactus in the shape of a heart. And that's right here at the gate on the other side of the fence. Let's go. It's like she knows where she's going. We've never been here. Alright, someone has left some cairns along the way. Now normally you should be able to look up the trail and see the next stack to guide you on your way. And we could go to the right or the more steep route to the left. We're going to take the more difficult route. Now something that's interesting at this point, if you've watched some of my previous videos, I have mentioned these banana yucca before. They are often found around primitive campsites, and what's interesting, we now have some agave plants . That looks like a nice little shelter for a coyote or maybe a bobcat. And so this is probably the most difficult part of the actual hike. But we are getting close. So we have a little more rock climbing to go before we get to the top, but it does appear that there was another set of cairns set up here. Alright, so we just scrambled up that little boulder wall there from the trail down there, and now I do spot another set cairns, so we're on the right path. Alright, so from these cairns that Katana's checking out, we get another batch right here. And so we're going to continue on to the left. We can actually go right or left, but we're going to follow the left. I don't know if you can see through the brush there, is another stack of cairns. So we've got to go through this little bit here apparently. All right, Katana, come on. I guess that's our next sign of the trail continuing on through these boulders. I don't see anything back that way. There's our next little sign. So we're on the right path. So whoever made these cairns have made it pretty simple. Each time you look up, there's another stack, and that makes sense. Almost to the top. And so I think that cairns will mark the top for us. And sure enough, we're up at the top, and it is windy. Alright, I don't know, but this looks like an amphitheater to me. This would be the stage area with the seating back there in levels. What are you doing? So again, Katana would be on the stage, and then you get the steps up where that looks like almost it would be seating at each different level all the way up. Kind of like an amphitheater. All right, so we've made it up to the ruins. Time to go exploring. So this looks to be like a little enclosure. Unfortunately, it looks like maybe the backside has fallen down. All right, there is the proof of the indigenous people more than likely actually built these ruins. If you know what these are, drop a comment in the comment section down below. And right behind this is actually what is called a granary or a granary, where they would store the food. And we'll go and explore that in a moment. Kind of a little storage area. Kind of have a built-in shelf. Actually, a couple built-in shelves. And there, you can see through to the other one. So that would be considered, I think, a granary or a granary. Now around the corner is another one. And then back up in here, probably an even better example of another little storage area. So we decided to come down through that opening I mentioned earlier in the hike. And so this is our path down so far. We just climbed down that rock face. Those are my next few steps down. Alright, so we are headed down, more than likely the wrong way. We're taking the shortcut that I had mentioned earlier in the hike. And we've been climbing down these boulders. And now I think we may have found a trail of some sort. There's going to be some bushwhacking involved, but we'll get down to the bottom. Is it just me, or does that kind of look like an axe head? Well, we're almost finished after climbing down through that gap the hard way, pretty much straight down. And we only have a little way to go before we get back to the road. Definitely the difficult route to go. Alright, so other than our vehicle down here at the parking lot, we finally made it down after 4 hours. The only other vehicle is the truck with the ATV trailer, so they definitely were not up on the trail. But there is nobody else down here with us today. So for 4 hours plus, we had that entire hike completely to ourselves. That is pretty awesome. So, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I appreciate you coming along on this adventure and exploring these old ruins with me and Katana. So until next time, remember, get out there and seek and enjoy.